posse or the junkyard dog. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a Top 10 Tuesday in the Doghouse. I am your host, Thom Abraham. So glad that you have joined us today as we come to you from one of my happy places in the world. You know, one of my happy places, and that is the Baumhauers on South Parkway. And those of you that are watching at WZZN TV are getting a little bit of a good sense of what it looks like here in the joint. And there is my smiling face popping up here in just a moment for you as well. And I got to tell you, the atmosphere is tremendous. The menu is tremendous. This is your place for football all fall long. And, you know, we never really got into the NFL yesterday other than blasting the Titans for their meltdown in Chicago. So today we're going to bring you some data from week one in the NFL, which ended last night with the 49ers beatdown of everyone's darling, the New York Jets. Not that Aaron Rodgers wasn't good at times, but in the end, Brock Purdy looked like the best quarterback on the field. He threw for 231 yards to Rodgers' 167. But the real difference was San Francisco's glorious running game. Even without Christian McCaffrey, 180 yards on the ground, averaging a devastating 4.7 yards a carry. And the whole Christian McCaffrey thing, to be quite honest with you, that is creating a lot of angst right now. The NFL is looking into it. From a betting standpoint, now that there is legalized sports betting in 40 of the 50 states in America, there's some talk about why wasn't Christian McCaffrey even listed on the injury report? How does Christian McCaffrey end up getting pulled from that game and deactivated from that game just a half an hour, 45 minutes before kickoff? And then when you hear the guy who backed him up, who had a great game for the 49ers talking, they asked him afterwards, you know, when did you find out that you were starting? He said Friday. I mean, dang. I mean, he said Friday. He needed to say, well, an hour before the game. He needed to say, well, I didn't know anything for sure until McCaffrey wasn't able to go. He didn't say any of that. They asked him, when did you find out you were starting? And he said Friday. So, you know, that is going to create a little bit of a problem when there's action on a game. You know, you can't be holding back that kind of information. As far as Kyle Shanahan goes, I mean, the dude is just a tremendous coach. I mean, he really is. But he needs that Super Bowl win now. He's at that point in his career where he needs that Super Bowl win, okay? He is in danger of becoming this generation's Marty Schottenheimer or Marv Levy or Chuck Knox. I mean, Andy Reid was on that path, right, at Philadelphia. Then he shook hands with Patrick Mahomes, and the rest has been history. Now he's won 3 out of the last 4 Super Bowls. So how did that dynamic kickoff thing work out in week one in the NFL? Well, pretty much the way I said it would work out. 65% touchbacks. Now, last season, it was 73% for the entire season. And as the season goes on, there's going to be more and more. And by the year's end, it'll be very close to last year's number. I believe that in my heart of hearts. As I said, the 30-yard line on a touchback is just not that much of a deterrent. It was the 25 last year. It's the 30 this year. And at the end of the day, the special teams coaches are going to fight for, you know, more screwing around on the kickoff, and we can drop it in here. We can do this and we can do that. And the head coaches are going to say, you know what, kick it in the end zone. Just kick it in the end zone. I don't want to risk it. Put the ball at the 30-yard line, and we'll play from there. Look, if it was the 35, like it was in the XFL, now the 35 is getting a little bit, you know, that's 10 more yards. It's another first down from the old rule. So 35 might make a difference, okay? The bigger difference to me would be back these dudes up to the 30 on the kickoff. Originally they were supposed to kick off from the 30. Then they moved them up to the 35 to kick off. And if they're kicking off from the 35, it's nothing. Even from the 30, it won't be much for them to kick it into the end zone. But back the kicker up. If you want returns, if you really want returns in the game, back the kicker up. All right. At the top of the one today, Bama beat writer Kennington Lloyd Smith of The Athletic will be in. Alabama is in Madison, Wisconsin for an 11 a.m. deal this week. For the first time since 2011, the Tide goes north of the Mason-Dixon line for a regular season game. In fact, it was on this very date, 13 years ago, September 10th, 2011, when Alabama beat Penn State 27-11 in Happy Valley. Eddie Lacy and Trent Richardson combined for nearly 200 yards in that game. The Tide busted off 5.3 yards per carry back when that's how they rolled. Now, here's another top 10. Each of the next 10 years, Alabama will play a Power 4 team on the road, including trips to Notre Dame in 2029, Boston College in 2031, and Minnesota in 2032. Those are all trips north of the Mason-Dixon line. In fact, I got the entire list for you today, and I'll get to that as well. We got dueling top 10s maybe. We'll see. Lines are open, 256-576-4977. We can also text the show at 7329-TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. It is a great way to communicate with us. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The Zone is on X at 97.7 ESPN. And go ahead and follow at ESPN Winchester as well. Check out the YouTube channel at WZZN TV and subscribe to that bad boy. The Zone has an app as well. Soon ESPN Winchester will have their app. Snag those bad boys, and the Talk Radio WZZN app as well for the final week of Trash Panda action and Huntsville Panthers football. And we got another full slate of high school action for you coming up this Friday night. So you need to get that Zone app so you can get all these games. One of the greatest voices of all time has passed away. I'm not talking about broadcasting voices. I'm just talking about a great pipe. James Earl Jones. Of course, he was
People will come, Ray.
You're broke, Ray. You sell now or you lose.
He was Mufasa in The Lion King, and Darth Vader. He was the voice of Darth Vader in the Star Wars movies. But for me, the greatest James Earl Jones role was that of Terrence Mann in Field of Dreams, where he dropped one of the greatest speeches in sports movie history.
People will come, Ray.
You're broke, Ray. You sell now or you lose everything.
The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked the time. This field, this game, it's a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again. Oh, people will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
Baseball. I mean, what a pipe. That guy with that scene right there, that speech right there, that's right up there with Kevin Costner's speech in Bull Durham when he was talking to the baseball Annie. What a pipe at James Earl Jones, though. Amazing. Playing the Platters that Matter and the Stacks of Wax, man on the phones, keeping us on the air. Wishing he was here at Baumhauer's and that he had a voice like James Earl Jones. It's the one and the only Jumpin' Joe Hunk.
Baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, do do. Hello, I'm looking for some horsemen.
I've got plenty. How many you need?
4.
4 horsemen. You can hardly understand what you're saying, but
Sorry, I got a little bit of a lift.
If I saw myself in clothes like those, I'd have to kick my own ass.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
And this is important because let's get that third one. They hit that little tank, get that heroic ability.
Satisfaction is guaranteed. So passionate.
You're next!
So long, Nashville, Tennessee. You can't have what's left of me. And as far as I can
Joe,
tell,
can you do me a favor? Can you talk for about a half an hour so I can eat my lunch? I tell you what, about 8 minutes. Give me about 7-8 minutes so I can eat my lunch. I'm
yeah,
just
sure.
saying.
You want me to drive down there and then do that? So then the next half hour you can talk while I eat the lunch?
Don't you wish you were here, man?
No, seriously, it's one of my favorite places. Matter of fact, whenever my my mom and I go to lunch or anything like that, I always just say, "All right, let's go to Baumhauer's." It's a given. We're going there. Matter of fact, where you're sitting right now and you have that camera set up, That's normally the table that we're sitting at.
That is the broadcast set table with all our lines and everything set up right here to my right as well. And those of you that are watching, getting a little bit of a sense of the room itself as we go 2-camera look here today at Baumhauer's. You're digging that, right? I mean, the only thing I don't have is that little fade thing. Yeah, I should have like a little thing where you can like fade from one look to another. The one thing I can never get rid of is this bright light behind me here. And I'm telling you, if you're here, it's really shaded.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's not even hardly coming in, but for whatever reason, it just washes out the camera. It washes out that picture. But
I've dealt with that for years. No matter what restaurant you go to, and they have those shades where you can still see outside just a little bit, the light is always gonna come in, no matter what. No, it dealt with it a lot.
I look like I have a glow behind me. I look like I've come down from heaven. You know what I mean? And I have this like glow, like a halo behind me a little bit there. Maybe not. Maybe that's not what I look like. Maybe I just look like there's light shining in over my head. But down from heaven, Joe. Like look like I'm
just gonna let you keep going. Just gonna let you keep going.
Down.
Just
so, Joe.
Yeah,
we're a week into this deal now. With you coming back for the third time. We're a week into this deal. How are you enjoying like being home for dinner and stuff, and seeing your children before they go to bed and all of that? I mean, is it all of that in a can of corn or what?
No. Yesterday after we wrapped up everything, I went and I had both of my kids with me. As I think by like 4:00, the whole family was at the house, and we were hanging out and doing all that. Like I've never been able to do that. So that part's extremely cool. My wife came home and she was like, "Hey, we've got these steaks. You want to grill those?"
Nice.
All right, cool, absolutely. So I'm grilling steaks. My son's hitting baseball in the backyard. Like it's all this like normal family stuff that I've never gotten to do, because normally I wouldn't be getting home until about 8 or 9 o'clock every single night.
Well, you won't get home quite as early tonight. I might have to, we have a staff meeting right after the show, so you might get held till about 3:30.
Well, Tuesdays are my
3:30 at the most.
Yeah, Tuesdays are my long day. We have a family thing that we're doing at Willowbrook coming up at 4:30 today, so I'm going to be sticking around. And then my son has baseball practice in Lincoln County right after that, so there's going to be a lot of driving.
Lincoln County. What's he doing going up there to play ball?
Right where we live is all of half a mile away from the Tennessee state line.
Yeah.
And so we started him playing ball in Lincoln County because he was actually able to start playing baseball at like 3. So we've just kept him in that league ever since he started playing baseball. So the Lincoln County park where he plays is all of like 10 minutes from where we live. So we just go to Lincoln County and play.
What is he, a grizzled veteran of 5 years old now?
He's figured out that he has to actually run when going to first base. So he's a little bit further along. See, I had to remember that, he's like in his 3rd or 4th season of playing T-ball. I had just started playing T-ball when I was 5 years old, and he's already played 3 or 4 seasons. So he's way ahead of where I was. And so now we're just kind of starting to work on things, and it's where we're starting to see him actually develop as a ball player, instead of, hey man, focus on the ball.
Yeah.
Hey man, don't do that. Don't sit in the dirt. Like it's all of that. Now he's playing first base because he's ADHD like I am. So we got to get him at the position that keeps his attention. And so now he's learning about running to first, getting his feet set, all that sort of stuff. Things that I never even knew was a thing at 5 years old.
So I started, I coached a T-ball team 100 years ago, and see, first of all, we had our first practice, and all the moms show up with the kids, no dads. I'm like, where are the dads? And why aren't the dads showing these kids, how to play ball? You know what I mean? I want to know, why aren't they showing these kids how to play ball, and where are the dads? Because that's what I needed, was dads there to be there. And they're not watching baseball at all on TV enough. So what happened was, we're having our first deal. So we set up. I set up the tee. I set up the ball. I got all these kids. And I say, okay, what I want you to do is you're going to swing at the ball 3 times. All right. And when you hit it the 3rd time, I want you to run to third base.
Yep.
And they said, okay. And they hit the ball, and they just all turned and made a left and went right to third base. I'm like, no, I mean, you got to go that way. And then I put them on first. I go, we're going to practice base running, and we're going to go first to third. Okay. All right, here we go. Go. And they all right across the mound. I mean, they just shot right across. So I'm like, I turned to the moms afterwards, and I said, well, no, guys, I had to draw a map. I had to do I had been a college football coach at that time, so I did a playbook for them, and I had to draw an arrow as to how you get from around the bases, the direction you go. And I said to the moms, I said, will you please take your children home? And I'm asking you to do one thing. watch a baseball game with them.
Yeah.
Just watch like 2 innings of let them see what it looks like.
Mhm.
Because apparently nobody was watching baseball, and I had no dads to help. All I had were moms.
No, and for my son, like again, unless he just eventually his mindset changes totally, I don't think he's going to be a baseball player unless it just totally changes. No, he's not the baseball guy. Like it's again, moving him to first base may keep his attention, that's the position I played all the way through college.
Right.
And so that was okay. We're good. We can do that. But I have a feeling he's getting really excited about learning to skate and play hockey.
Right.
So because it's more of an action sport, so we're getting him into hockey. So that may be eventually the sport that interests him.
Yeah,
but my daughter,
you need another job.
Yeah,
you need more jobs because let me tell you something. Hockey is expensive.
Well, heck, I've already got 3, Tom.
I know you need a 4th one. Hockey's really expensive.
Yeah,
man.
and so, but my daughter, on the other hand, she's the one. She'll watch baseball with me. She'll watch football with me. My son doesn't want to do it. So my daughter may actually be the family athlete. I'm not really 100% keep this, wait 10 years, and then we'll look back. But I think my daughter's going to be the bigger athlete than my son is.
All right, let's get a break in here. I'm going to choke down my fries. And when we come back, we'll go open phone lines. And we understand we have a caller that has made his way back from Scotland. All right. So that's where it's going to start when we return. If you want to jump on board, you can do it 256-576-4977 right here on the Thom Abraham Show from Baumhauer's.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
And welcome back out to Baumhauer's. I am Thom Abraham. So glad that you are with us today. This segment of the show is brought to you by the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. Woody Anderson Ford doing a tremendous job, not only on your Ford, but your other brands as well. But if you were down there, I don't know why you'd want anything other than a Woody Anderson Ford. I think you'd want to go down there and check them out and get yourself hooked up with a Woody Anderson Ford. Don't forget the certified gold pre-owned vehicles as well at Woody Anderson Ford. They do a great job, and they also have the quick lane service down there as well. Your one-stop shop over the weekend or, on a Saturday or at night for brake work or tire work or battery work, that kind of stuff. They do that at the quick lane service department. So no matter what the service your Ford or other vehicle needs, Woody Anderson ensures quick, professional, and exceptional service. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com to learn more. All right, apparently he is back from Scotland. The one and the only Wolverine Dan. Dan, welcome to the show. How are you? Uh-oh.
So maybe he's not back. He was there to me.
He's not. Maybe. Well, I'm not hearing him. So, I don't know if he's still on the line or not. Oh, wow. Sounded like he went with the quick hang up there.
All right, fine then.
All right. Be that way. All right, Danny, call back in, and we'll get you up. 256-576-4977. Dude went to Scotland, and I know, Joe, you're not a golfer at all, right? I don't think Joe's a golfer. So Dan went to Scotland. And remember, I was trying to talk him into, look, if you're going all the way to Scotland, you got to play St. Andrews. You got to play St. Andrews. And he said he wasn't going to play. He was refusing to play St. Andrews because he says that it's in, every time he sees it on TV, it looks like a goat farm, which is true. It does look like a goat farm, but it's St. Andrews, man. I mean, it's St. Andrews. Joe, if you go all the way to Scotland and you're a golfer, like Wolverine Dan plays like 2 or 3 times a week, how do you not play St. Andrews?
Oh, I'm definitely playing. That's the only thing I am going to do. It's the only thing I want to do.
I'm just saying. Yeah. I would think that's what
I'm paying for the extra bag. I'm sending the golf clubs over, and that's what I'm going to do. That's the only thing I request. I will tell my wife, and this happens. I do not care what else we do. We can do whatever you want to. We can go through Scotland thrift stores for all I care. I don't care. Just let me have one round of golf. That's all I ask.
Yeah, and you don't even have to take your clubs. I mean, they got plenty to rent there. You can rent clubs there just to say you did it.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Just to do it is the thing. All right, so Wolverine Dan didn't circle back.
No, he did, and his I think he may still be calling from Scotland. I'm not 100% sure. It's just it's not sounding too good. So he says he's gonna call back tomorrow.
Oh, okay, all right. So we'll hear from him tomorrow. So maybe he's still in Scotland. I thought maybe he was offended because I'm going with the Wolverine Dan. I think the Natty Danny thing, I mean, we promised him that if Wolverines won the national championship last year, that we would call him Natty Danny for this, for the entire rest of the year, which we did. But now that the new season has started and clearly Michigan does not even look like a playoff team, I think he's Wolverine Dan now. I don't know that we can still go Natty Danny. I think he's Wolverine Dan.
Well, look, whenever the season starts, that's last year's championship. It's last year's championship.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I can make a case that you're champion until somebody else is a champion, right? I mean, they are the defending champions all the way until January 11th or 12th, whatever the date is, aren't they? But, but it's a new season, and they don't look very good. I have a hard time calling him Natty Danny at this point in time. He may be Super Bowl Danny. The way the Lions looked against the Rams, coming back, getting that win, maybe he's Super Bowl Danny. I don't know. All right, let's go to the lines with Johnny. He's on a cell phone. Johnny, welcome to the show. How are you?
What's up, big dog?
What's going on?
I'm curious to get your thoughts here, but I've seen some computer models that now have flipped Alabama to favorites at every game they've got left on the season, including the one where Georgia comes into town. Now, granted, it's only a 53-47% favorite going into the Georgia game, but at some point in time earlier in the year, Georgia was probably a 59-41% favorite. So have you checked any of the computer models out lately to get your thoughts?
I have not seen the line. Let me look at my.
I'm not talking line. I'm talking computer model.
No, I haven't seen any of the computer models. But they're the same things that are used by by Vegas to set the lines. Is they use a lot of that with the computer models. So I would think that they would have it would dovetail with it. If they're what are you saying you're seeing? 50 what percent? 53?
53, 47.
All right, so if they're a 53 to 47% chance of winning that game, they're
a pick 'em.
They're probably about a 2.5 to 3, and I would say that they're a 2.5 to 3 at home. I think that could change based on how they look against Wisconsin. I would also say that it could change. The one that I think I could see them getting a couple of points in might be the trip to Tennessee. Tennessee looks pretty stout right now.
That's the one game. That is the one game that flipped downward for Alabama. Alabama was still a favorite, but they went from being a 64% favorite to a 57% favorite.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
of course.
I mean, obviously things change. Now, I will say it is kind of hard to get into an offensive rhythm of any type when flags are in that ball game. That against South Florida, Hankies were on the ground 18.9% of every play.
Yeah, it was crazy, but the thing was, for the most part, they were legit calls. I mean, that was the thing. I mean, listen.
Look, I'm going to beg to differ with you, big dog, because the very first freaking play that gave South Florida a first down, when we hit their damn quarterback at the sideline, and they called that,
that was bad.
Out of bounds, my tail.
No, that was
a lady hit out of bounds.
Let me tell you something.
Cool.
I don't know that was the call, though. They said that was the call. That's what they said. That the official didn't say that. That's what the broadcast crew said it, because they only gave him 5 yards. Did you notice that? It was not 15 yards. If it was a late hit out of bounds, plus he initiated the hit. The guy was still in bounds. He's a running quarterback, and he was definitely in bounds. To me, I'm thinking, was it something else? Because they only tacked on 5 yards. I need to go back and look at the game sheet on that and see what that call actually was.
But once again, it was a crap call, big dog.
If it's a late hit out of bounds, it was a crap call. If it was not a late hit out of bounds, then we don't know.
Not only that, though, look, big dog, the South Florida players, the only way they could keep up with Ryan Williams was to have their hands on him the whole game. You could call defensive holding anytime we put the ball in the air towards one of our receivers. Not to mention, you can also call offensive holding on pretty much any play you want. And it seemed rather strange that on 2 of the touchdowns, the hanky hits the ground. That
was at home, though.
Was a crap crew.
Well, listen, at home, you expect to get the calls. But let me tell you something. The calls against Wilson Formby, they were legit. That kid was grabbing constantly. He couldn't keep his hands to himself.
But I'm just saying they weren't egregious. I mean, you could call them, but they weren't like he took the guy down. And some of the calls was where the guy's on the ground and we're laying on him. I don't care if you block a guy to the ground, I don't call that holding. You knock the guy on his butt.
Unless you tackle him.
I said.
Yeah.
I just feel like that there was a lot of hankies on the ground, and of course, in the world of NIL these days, big dog, these kids get paid a lot of money per game.
Yeah.
That Formby kid, he as an offensive tackle, I'm sure his NIL agreement's at least $250, $240 a year. I mean,
Formby?
You should dock his pay. And look, if a kid grades an F, which that kid had to grade an F, then you should withhold his NIL pay.
Well, I mean,
he's a pro at this point.
But they don't know. But they don't have a union, so they're not going to have something where you can fine a kid NIL money, which is third-person money. But I'd be stunned if Formby was getting $250,000. I don't think he's getting that kind of money. All right, so listen, though, Johnny, let me give you the ruling here. Okay, that was not. Remember, they said late hit out of bounds against the quarterback.
Yeah.
That was not a late hit out of bounds. What it was they called holding on Jackson, and so it was 10 yards from the spot of the hold. That's why the ball was put at the 44-yard line. The hold was at the 34-yard line. He went out of bounds at the 37-yard line, and it was called offensive It was called defensive holding against Alabama. The officials kept saying, wow, it didn't look like he really hit him out of bounds there. It wasn't a hit out of bounds. That's why it wasn't a 15-yard penalty. But, yes, there was still a lot of call. There was too many pre-snap penalties, too many illegal formations. Can't have that.
Well, don't bother me. You can clean that up. And
they need to clean it up.
Get out of the game, you get to clean the other up.
Yeah. Well, I think they need to clean it up.
Once Pritchett entered the game, Big Dog, we should have beat South Florida 70-16. You take away the 3 scores of the long pass play, the 2 scores, and you have Pritchett in the game when those penalties don't get called, we blow South Florida out of the game.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be close.
All right.
It wouldn't have been.
I agree with you, but I still think that those holding calls that they were calling on Formby, the 4 holding calls that he had were, he was very grabby. He was extremely grabby. So, I'm just saying he needs it. He won't be in the game.
He
yeah,
will
exactly.
not be in the game against Wisconsin.
Yeah. Hopefully Pritchett will be at right tackle,
Or
and see. Well, we'll see it too. Yeah, and hopefully Caden Proctor is back this week at left tackle, and you can move Tyler Booker back inside where he belongs at left guard, and they can get that all cleaned up. All right, Johnny, I appreciate you, man. Good job by you.
Yeah, see you, bud.
We'll get a break in here from Baumhauer's. We'll come back. More of your phone calls are next. Go ahead and stack them up. We'll get to you right after this, the Thom Abraham Show, live from Baumhauer's.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
A block and a dive for the goal line, and he's up on the goal line and in. Touchdown, San Francisco.
The call on Niners radio on last night's 32-19 win over the Jets. Jake Moody 6 for 6 on field goal attempts. His longest was 53 yards. San Francisco scored on 8 consecutive drives in the season-opening win. Fill-in running back Jordan Mason ran for 147 yards and a touchdown in place of the injured Christian McCaffrey. The Niners were favored by 3.5. The over was 51. The Niners remain second among bettors to win the Super Bowl at plus 550 behind the plus 450 Chiefs. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, InvisiCook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash and the freezers free and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Howdy, folks. Bob Baumhauer here. Whether you're planning a tailgate party at the game, cheering for your favorite teams at home, or at your local Baumhauers with your family and friends, we're here to make your football party legendary with our party-ready tray selections. From our always fresh buttermilk fried chicken tenders to the homemade Nana's chicken salad, and of course, our fresh, never frozen, award-winning buffalo-style chicken wings. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Hey, Huntsville. Looking for action-packed events? The Huntsville Sports Commission is your hub for all things sports. From youth events to national tournaments, we've got events that thrill and inspire. Whether you're an athlete, a fan, or a volunteer, there's something for everyone. Cheer on your favorite teams, witness amazing talent, and be a part of the excitement. Check out our event calendar and get involved at huntsvillesports.com. That's huntsvillesports.com. Be there, Huntsville.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon really is going to be a beautiful day. Temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s, dropping into the mid 60s as we head into the overnight. More cloud cover for your Wednesday, but it does look like we are going to be dry. The cloud cover going to keep us a little cooler. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're dropping into the upper 60s, low 70s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. Thursday is going to bring a lot of rain and maybe some stronger thunderstorms to the Tennessee Valley. With that in mind, we are going to be much cooler on Thursday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Segment of the show is brought to you by Owen Home Appliance, featuring the biggest names in home appliances, plus some you may not know, but those ones you may not know offer tremendous value as well. Go down and visit the Lacey Springs showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, and you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear dishwashers washing and freezers freezing, and they'll even bake some cookies for you down there. Mike Owen is ready to do it. And when you see their showroom, you're going to think this is really, really cool. Check them out. It's Owen Home Appliance Service, and they've got the quality pricing, the quality products, the quality service. It's right there in the name. Owen Home Appliance Center, I should say, not service, but they do service as well. All right, you want to jump in, you can do it, 256-576-4977. Brandon has slid by the show over here, and he's sitting at a table with Steve Moulton, and John Boy Magoo has slid by as well. So we got a nice little crew hanging out with us here at the Baumhauers on the South Parkway. You know who's not here is Paulie, because he's in the Cape. Paulie, welcome to the show. How are you?
Always fine to be on the air with you, Thom. And did anybody see the 40-year-old gazelle running around last night? Anyone?
No. Not looking like a gazelle. 167 yards. He looked rusty. There were a couple of times where he zipped it in there really nice, and did a good job with that, but no gazelle.
And the one pass that got, deflected in interception,
yeah.
No leg drive, nothing from the legs. Yeah. And then when he, the cartoon characters, when they're running around, you have the high-pitched piano sound.
Yeah.
It looked like he was running. Yeah. It's not looking good. It's not looking good.
We can't overreact. It's week 1. We can't overreact. Let me ask you a question. As a Miami Dolphin fan, I'm sure there's a lot of noise about this down there. What was your take on the Tyreek Hill video once you saw the body cam video of his arrest before the game?
It's overblown, overreaction, just stupidity. I mean, come on. That guy doesn't know who that guy looks like? Really? I mean, come on. It's big game day, granted. It's I don't know what to say, but I don't know how.
I would say this. All right. When a cop is talking to you, when you get pulled over, first of all, I knew he was speeding. He's going like 85 miles an hour. So when you get pulled over for speeding, all right, you put your window down and you get ready to hand the cop your insurance and your license. And at that point in time, when you're handing it to him, say, officer, I'm sorry, I was going too fast. I'm Tyreek Hill, as it says on my license. I play for the Dolphins, and I'm trying to get over to the stadium. And then the officer, I think if you explain that to them, and then the officer said, okay, let me check this out, make sure, license not expired or whatever. But he then rolls up, but he doesn't say any of that stuff. He's like, why you stop me? Why are you being mouthy? Then he rolls up the window and doesn't want to put the window back down. All right, so, now he's pissing off the cop. Why do you want to piss off the cop?
Exactly. That's my point of view. I didn't want to be like, it's like you should have just, hey, game day, officer. My whole head's in the game. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Here's my license. Here's my deal, and you leave the window down. Now, I think it was excessive. I don't want to get wrong on that. I think it was excessive. The cop didn't have to go nuts like that. But, you put the window down, and when the guy tells you to put the window down, put the window down. Don't fight with the cop.
Yeah, for some reason, there's a lot of human beings that want to argue with a guy that's just body armor and a weapon.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, hey.
Yeah,
you want to be stupid. That's what happens.
Yeah.
He could have just been like, hey, officer, I apologize. Here you go. Like you said, identify himself, be as quick. The game is on.
But nobody is saying anything except for this is excessive behavior by the cop. And it was excessive behavior by a Hispanic cop. By the way, there was a Hispanic cop, a white cop, and a black cop. So they had it covered. You know what I mean? They had it totally covered, but it was, it was like, look, okay, it was over the top by the cop. There was no doubt about that. Yeah. But on the other hand, Tyreek Hill didn't have to be obstinate about it. And nobody's talking about, do what the cop tells you to do.
It's a deadly mixture.
Yeah.
What can you do? But on the other side, the game, everybody's fired up. My buddy was on the field on that game, and when he scored that 80-yard bomb, and by the way, no one used to say, everybody used to say before, Tua doesn't have the arm strength to do that, do they?
Yeah.
Tua can't throw the picture. And Tua can't do it. What did he throw? He threw that ball on a dime in stride. And everybody used to say, I don't know why they drafted him, because he can't do that. Well, he just did.
Well, they paid him, so nobody is saying that anymore. I don't think anyone is questioning Tua Tagovailoa anymore in terms of his ability.
Look at that replay. That ball is perfectly put. I mean, they did not lose a half a second of momentum, inertia. It was that he caught it and see ya.
Yeah.
And that's all day. That is all day.
Yeah. I hear you. All right, man. It's a good job by you, Paulie.
Go Yankees.
Go Yankees, yeah.
By the way,
big games.
Real quick, the running game on third down, we're able to get first downs now, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. We're using the fullback dive. No one's ready for it because they're looking to the edge. Can't stop the Dolphins, baby, all day.
All right, man. Appreciate you. All right, speaking of the Yankees, we probably should be giving you your daily update now in the National League playoff race. The Braves lose last night. The Mets win. So the Mets now 9-1 in their last 10. They're hot again. The Mets have now pulled ahead by a full game, 79-65 for the Mets. The Braves sitting at 78-66. So, we'll continue to keep an eye on that. I think Mets and Braves last weekend, any of you Braves people over here can tell me, I think Mets and Braves last weekend of the season, I believe they play the last weekend of the season, Joe. Not 100. I might just made that up for drama, but I think that they are playing the last weekend of the season. We'll double check. All right,
It is the second to last series of the season that they're going to play. It's September 24th through the 26th before the Braves wrap up with the Royals.
Oh, the Royals are tough, too.
It's a 6-game homestand.
Wow. Okay. All right. We'll get a break. We'll come back. Final segment of hour number 1 from Baumhauer's is next right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Thom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? It might be in a call center somewhere, maybe 100 miles away, but my phone rings in my office.
The Lackey Law Firm.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're here. We're the ones who take your call.
And get what you deserve.
You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And this is the most important part. We'll treat you like family, because that's exactly what we are.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon really is going to be a beautiful day. Temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s, dropping into the mid 60s as we head into the overnight. More cloud cover for your Wednesday, but it does look like we are going to be dry. The cloud cover going to keep us a little cooler. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're dropping into the upper 60s, low 70s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. Thursday is going to bring a lot of rain and maybe some stronger thunderstorms to the Tennessee Valley. With that in mind, we are going to be much cooler on Thursday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And welcome back. Thom Abraham Show live on location out here at Baumhauer's is where we are at. Glad that you are with us. My Friday night sidekick for Buckhorn football is John Boy Dewey Magoo, and he just finished eating over here, and he's hanging out with us here for a couple of minutes here at the end of the hour. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Tom. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic. If I was any better, I'd be two of me.
Well, you'd be on a coin, but then, typically they don't put you on a coin until you're
dead.
Dead.
You don't want to be dead. By the way, there's John right there. All right, so that's him over there. And then we swing around over here to this table over here. And there's Moulton and Brandon. There's Brandon's smiling face over there. So it's a cast of 3 is what we have right now is a cast of 3 going on here.
So what'd you have there?
I'm almost done with them. It takes me a full hour to get through them during the show. I try to get here early enough to have them ahead of time. I had the chicken lips plain with the what do you call it? The honey mustard sauce and then the curly fries.
Yeah, I had the Jamaican jerk wings with fries. And
I couldn't do the wings because I'm doing here a sports talk radio show.
Yeah,
it would be hard. It would be kind of hard to do that,
So I heard you talking earlier. Bama fans upset about the penalties and whatnot, huh?
Well, Johnny on a cell is, but I mean, he's a huge fan. So, when you're looking at it strictly through crimson glasses, I was upset with the penalties because they were committing the penalties. I wasn't upset with the referee for calling the penalties. I was upset that they committed the penalties. Now, there were some that were sketchy, and they weren't going to call targeting on that one.
Right.
They weren't going to call that targeting, but it got flagged from above. The eye in the sky said, stop, got to take a look at targeting there. And that was a great hit back in the day. That was a helmet sticker back in the day. You get paid for that back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
But in this day and age, under these rules, that was textbook targeting, and the penalty is too punitive. I mean, for that kid not to be able to play in the first half against Wisconsin, that's wrong.
Yeah.
That's too much.
And what I would say, too, is, either I'm a Tennessee guy.
Yeah.
But still, we're 2 weeks into this. I mean, we're 2 weeks into this. Now, going to Cap Randall.
That's a thing.
That's a thing. That's not an easy place to go in and play, especially at 11 o'clock.
The line surprised me at 14 and a half, 15 now it's growing to. That's a little bit heavy making a road trip into the Big Ten. I agree with you about the 11 o'clock to a certain extent. I think when you're traveling and you're on the road, it's not the worst thing in the world when you go on the road because I think the guys are ready to go. You're in the hotel. You don't want to sit in the hotel all day long, have long meetings and everything else. Get up, have your breakfast. Let's go. Get to the stadium and play.
Yeah, and I think, I actually, my model has that game around 16.
Right.
But, I temper that a little bit because, like I said, it's 11 o'clock, and that's just not an easy place to go up and play. And, I don't know if Alabama had their mind on Wisconsin last week. Don't know. It could be the case, but a lot of stuff to clean up before they go up there.
Yeah, I don't know that they had their mind on that. I just think that when you make all those changes in the offensive line, I think that's going to be a deal. And they moved a lot of guys around for one injury. Typically you don't move 3 pieces to make up for one injury, but Tyler Booker needs to get back at guard. And, you need to get Caden Proctor back on the field there at tackle. And they probably got to go with Pritchett at right tackle, assuming that he's okay. I mean, the reason they didn't play him was because he got dinged in the Western Kentucky game. So, we'll just have to wait and see how all of that shakes out. And, same thing with the week 1 of the NFL season. Guaranteed that half the fan bases are freaking out. This is the NFL. It's not like the SEC where everybody wins, except for Auburn this week. But, I mean, you in the NFL, there are 16 teams that are like, hey, man, I think we got something going on here. And then you got 16 teams saying, fire everybody. It's week 1.
Yeah, it's
week 1.
And the, much more parity on the talent level.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I mean, any given Sunday, right?
Except for that quarterback in Cleveland.
Yeah.
No talent there. That's for sure. Anymore. That guy just doesn't like football anymore. I'm telling you, $232 million guaranteed. And he's like, who needs this aggravation? All right, when we come back, Kennington Llyod Smith will join us right here in the Thom Abraham Show, live from Baumhauer's. Back in more in a minute.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you.
The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
It's time to get ready for game day. That means Alabama football and tailgate. Whether you're tailgating at home or at Bryant-Denny, visit Brooks & Collier for North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers like Big Green Egg, Blaze, Delta Heat, Memphis, and Traeger. Satisfy any palate with our wall of rubs and seasonings. For all your tailgating needs, visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for over 75 years. Roll Tide.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Perhaps some clarity today on the Steelers quarterback situation from Coach Mike Tomlin. After the season opening win in Atlanta, he told reporters they could ask questions about the starting quarterbacks Tuesday, and today's Tuesday. Justin Fields started Sunday in place of Russell Wilson, who aggravated a calf injury last week. Pittsburgh is at Denver on Sunday. 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan said it's too early to make any declarations on the status of running back Christian McCaffrey. A late surprise inactive in the Monday Night Football win over the Jets, was held out with lingering calf and Achilles injuries. Niners will monitor McCaffrey as the week goes on. Their next two games are on artificial surface at Minnesota, then the LA Rams, which could impact when he returns. NHL longtime Penguin star captain Sidney Crosby expecting to sign a contract extension before the regular season opener in a month.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want that money!
You know, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on. Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing? Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Dale McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show, live on location at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. That's where we do it on Tuesday, every other Tuesday. And every Tuesday, we talk to Kennington Llyod Smith from The Athletic, where he covers Alabama, and apparently some other stuff as well. I got to get into this with Kenny as he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Kenny, welcome back to the show. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. What's this byline of yours that I'm seeing here on this college football story? You know, what we learned from college football's week 2. Good job by you. I read through that whole article, and you're showing that you're a little bit more than a one-trick pony just covering the Tide.
Yeah, well, that's always been a part of the plan of me being here at the Athletic is to talk about Alabama, but talk about some other things as well. I'm a fan of college football, not just college football in the South. So just an opportunity to kind of stretch myself a little bit, talk about some different things, and insert my opinion about everything that's happening around college football, not just the SEC. But I appreciate those kind of words, and thank you for reading.
Yeah, no, good stuff. And you hit on one of the things that I've been commenting through the first couple of weeks of the season is that, people have been raving about the SEC and all the points that are being scored and all this kind of stuff. But, most of that damage was done against either FCS opponents or Group of 5 opponents in their good-on-good games against the other Power 4 conferences, now 5 and 6. We want to look at, of course, Tennessee destroying NC State, Texas destroying Michigan. Those are great wins, but, took a couple of losses as well in the games that are good on good. And it seems like that's pretty much the case for the whole country right now. All of the Power 5 conferences pretty much right around 500.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard at the early part of the year to say which conference is best and who has the most supremacy. I mean, everybody's having new rosters, new transfers, new coaching staffs, like things aren't really on film in the first few weeks. So it just kind of creates a little bit of parity and competition. Like I said in the article, I don't exactly know what the formula is for what's the best conferences, is draft picks or recruiting or playoff bids, but there's no conference that's really standing out above the rest right now. And like I said in the article, that's not as fun to say as trolling the SEC for it just means more or another conference, but that's just kind of what it is. So there have been good wins sprinkled in. Maybe if you go and look at every conference's individual wins, maybe the SEC stands out because Texas beat Michigan and Georgia beat Clemson, and Vanderbilt had that big win over Virginia Tech. So maybe you kind of break it down like that. Maybe the SEC maybe stands out, but there's no one conference dominating the other right now, which is very unlike the AP poll if you looked at the current ranking.
That's what I was just going to say. The SEC is dominating the poll, so that's for sure. And you see 6 SEC teams in the top 7. And the one that's kind of an enigma for me is Missouri. I feel like if Missouri and Tennessee played anywhere in the country, that Tennessee has the edge in that game. But Missouri getting a lot of love very quietly with Eli Drinkwitz, and you look at their schedule, it's not very scary. They seem to avoid a lot of the big games. They will play Alabama, though, so we'll see how that shakes out. But, with 6 SEC teams in the top 7, certainly getting the props, at least from the AP.
Yeah, well, the thing about Missouri is the way that they just ended last year on a high note, beat Ohio State, 11 wins, New Year's 6 champs. They bring back a lot of star players. Just kind of last year, I think kind of jump-started their campaign a little bit. And then to your point, they have, one of the easiest schedules in the SEC. Tennessee does as well. So that's kind of like the interesting part about it. But I would agree there. I think Tennessee has probably been the biggest stock riser to me in the country since the season has started. I think the way that they've just dominated the first 2 opponents, the first one, Chattanooga, FCS, you expect that. But then to go neutral site against a top 25 team and do what they did to North Carolina State was pretty remarkable. And I think when you look at Nico Imiolava, when you watch him play, you feel like Tennessee's ceiling has gone up a couple of notches based off of what he's able to do, not just this year, but into the future. I feel like that's the highest compliment that I can give a player is he elevates what you think about a program, and that's what we're kind of seeing the first weeks with him.
Well, as we're overreacting to everything, which is what we do, basically is overreact to everything, especially early in the season. Are we overreacting to say Elijah Pritchett goes in the game for Wilkin Formby, and the Tide scored 3 touchdowns in 5 plays, 2 runs right over his butt, and then a pass play where he did not hold, which seemed to be a problem for Wilkin Formby. I don't think there's any coincidence that it happened that way. How bad was this injury to keep him out of the game? And will he be ready to go, Pritchett, when they get to Wisconsin?
Yeah, the irony is that his injury really wasn't all that bad because DeBoer Kalen DeBoer said after the game that he could have started if it came down to it. So I think it was one of those
It
situations.
should have came down to it then. About two series in, it should have came down to it.
Right, exactly. It's I was shocked when he said that. He said that he could have started. In my mind, I'm like, okay, well, if he didn't start the game, that's one thing. But to not sub him in until the end of the game was pretty crazy. I mean, and it wasn't like one of those situations where it was like it was dire right at the end of the game. It was dire throughout the game that they needed a little bit of reinforcement there at that right tackle spot. So I think Elijah Pritchard is going to be fine. He practiced towards the end of last week. Obviously played in the game on Saturday. So I think they try to keep him out just to kind of keep him as fresh as they can for kind of this stretch of Wisconsin going into Georgia and SEC play. So I expect him to be fine. I think that the looming thing is what's going to be the status of Caden Proctor. Kalen DeBoer said that if all goes according to plan, then he'll be pretty close to going this weekend. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets some rotation snaps. But I would think that Alabama's probably going to go back to their week one offensive line where it's Pritchett on the left, Formby on the right, and then Tyler Booker back at left guard because that unit looked pretty good against Western Kentucky considering the opponent.
Kenny Smith with us here talking some Alabama football here. And I was surprised a little bit at the lack of commitment to the run game, only because if you're going to go ahead with a guy who is in Wilson Formby, it seemed like the more you pass, the more chances you have to have those holding calls. And it would have been nice to see back-to-back runs a little bit more, a little bit more commitment to it, and a little bit more maybe just getting Jalen Milroe on the corner and let him roll, you know what I mean, and let him go because, he obviously shows that ability. He's one of the fastest kids on the team. It'll be interesting to see going forward whether we see a little bit more of that, especially going into Wisconsin and Big Ten country, where I don't think Wisconsin's going to have the speed even at South Carolina or South Florida had.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. South Florida's just really fast defense, and if you remember the game last year, the exact same game plan worked against Alabama a year ago, which was putting speed on the edge and just going after the least experienced tackle. Last year was Caden Proctor. This year was Wilford Formby. So it felt like they were sending pressure on every play. They were doing a lot of simulated pressures. I thought that was really key going back and rewatching the game. The way that they were able to kind of confuse Alabama's offensive line, change the picture of what they saw pre-snap versus what it was post-snap. And they were shooting gaps hard. So it was kind of hard to get anything going on the ground because of, again, Formby was kind of struggling. I thought Geno Vandermark had a rough game at left guard, kind of getting in that spot with Tyler Booker at left tackle. So just not a great day overall for the offensive line. And to kind of add on to your point about maybe what Alabama could have done offensively, incorporating some more quick passes, incorporating the wide receiver screen game, like let South Florida rush upfield, be aggressive, flip a screen right behind them, put a playmaker in space. And I think we saw a little bit of that in the second half. They were kind of moving around the pocket and finding receivers, who can catch it and go. So just a clunky day offensively until the very end, like you said. But I think if you're looking for a silver lining as an Alabama fan, yes, Alabama struggled against South Florida, but there were teams that actually lost to unranked teams on Saturday. Like Notre Dame actually lost to Northern Illinois. Auburn lost to Cal as a double-digit favorite. Kentucky got blown out as a double-digit favorite. Oregon went down to the wire 2 weeks in a row. So this is not a problem that is exclusively to Alabama. Teams across the country struggled against top-ranked foes. Alabama still almost won by 30 points in spite of playing a CD game. So obviously they have things to work on, but it could always be worse.
It was so funny at the end of that game. I was texting with my sons, and it was like, oh my God, they're one more away from covering the 31-point spread. It's like one pick six here or something crazy here, and they're going to cover the 31-point spread. It was nuts. Kennington Smith with us here talking some Alabama. He covers them for The Athletic, and you wonder whether or not, because they did struggle some with that pressure, and I call it bastard defense. It's just send in the house and let's just see what's going to happen. You wonder whether or not now this is going to be a theme that Alabama's going to continue to see this. You only have to gash it a few times. We saw Western Kentucky try to do that, and Alabama, they had those short drives because they would gash, that defense. And finally, ultimately, they made the blocks and gashed this defense of South Florida. You wonder whether other teams, got Georgia looming after the bye week, after the Wisconsin game, whether this is something they're going to continue to see until they prove that they can pick it up consistently and hit those big plays like they have in the first couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Kirby Smart was licking his chops watching that tape of the things that they could be able to do speed-wise on the edge and pressure-wise to be able to get pressure on Jalen Milroe. And I think even when Caden Proctor comes back, there's still going to be questions on the offensive line because Caden Proctor hasn't played in a game, since January 1 in the Rose Bowl. And he missed a lot of spring practice and he went through summer and fall, but now he's missing game reps. So it's still going to be an adjustment for him on the left side. And then you still have a question mark on the right side, whether it's Elijah Pritchett's health, consistency, Wilkin Formby, maybe he's struggling with his confidence after a rough game. You're going to have to kind of get him back on track. So there's still going to be questions on the offensive line regardless, I think, by the time we get to the Georgia game. I don't know if Wisconsin, to your point earlier, has the speed to affect Alabama in a way that Alabama would lose at Wisconsin. Maybe it'll be a kind of a clunky game like South Florida, but I don't think Alabama will lose that game. Obviously, Georgia's a losable game if they're able to control the game at the line of scrimmage. So it is going to be something that we're going to continue to monitor. I don't think that this is anything different than what we thought at the beginning of the year, that offensive line was going to be kind of a focal point. It's just kind of the way things have gone in the first 2 weeks now with an additional emphasis. So Alabama's offense obviously kind of depends on the line, and it's all predicated on the line dictating the pace and the play of the game. So I'll be watching for that with extra detail on Saturday.
And a lot of Alabama fans are frustrated with the officiating because of the calls that were made during the game. I'm frustrated with Alabama for causing all those penalties for the most part. But there were a couple of questionable calls. Yes, I get that. You have that every game. But for the most part, this is something that, rearing its ugly head again, like it did the last couple of years of the Saban era, where there's some undisciplined play that they gotta take care of, because most of those calls, when you go back and you look at it, including the targeting call, based on the way targeting is described now, most of those calls were legit calls. I mean, they are what they are. And, stop causing all those penalties. Don't worry about the officiating. Stop grabbing people and stop doing that stuff.
Right. Well, the targeting is a whole another conversation in itself. You are right in the nature of the rule. That is,
the rule is
the
bad. The way they do it, the way they apply the rule is bad. That was that hit.
Yes.
The quarterback was kind of going down a little bit, so there was going to be a hit. The helmet to helmet a little bit there. But the way the rule is written right now, that is targeting. My problem is that it's way too punitive. All right, give him a 15-yard penalty. Taking that kid out of the game and then taking him out of the first half of the Wisconsin game, way too punitive.
Right. Yeah, especially because, to your point, punitive, like there was no malicious intent in that tackle. Yes, there was a crown of the helmet, but targeting, at least what I thought it was supposed to be somebody who was out there headhunting with the intention of maybe hurting somebody. That just wasn't that tackle. So it was unfortunate that he's going to get suspended. But, you are right. The penalties, it is something that has been a problem. And it was a problem on Saturday. Tyler Booker said today that they had 2 touchdowns taken away from penalties. Yeah. Then they had like 130 penalty yards. And then they had, if you take away the other yards that were taken by those penalties, they had 2 touchdowns taken away and then 200 more yards, which is, the length of a football field 2 times. That's 4 touchdowns essentially that were left on the table with, kind of being undisciplined. So I think the concerning part is, on top of everything that we talked about with the offensive line to this point, those penalties were all offensive line. There were holdings, false starts. There were kind of everything under the sun. You look across the board, 3 or 4 different guys had at least one flag. Some of them had multiple. So, again, it just all kind of goes back to the offensive line and just kind of this compounding issue. So going on the road is going to be somewhat of a hostile atmosphere. I don't think that, Wisconsin hasn't had the best start to the season, but they are 2-0. And if you're a Wisconsin fan and you watched Alabama last Saturday, it gives you optimism that if you can create some early momentum in the game and maybe rattle them, then it might be a closer game than the odds makers think. So it's going to be a challenge for this offensive line on Saturday. And I'll be very interested to see if they can kind of rectify those things from last Saturday to this Saturday.
Yeah, too many pre-snap penalties too. Like you said, false start formation penalties too. I mean, you can't be lining up. By the time week 2 comes around, you can't be in those pre-snap formation penalties, which is a problem for sure. Kennington. Lloyd Smith covers all of college football and the Alabama Crimson Tide for The Athletic and does a tremendous job doing it. Kenny, I appreciate you as always, man. Great stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me on.
All right, we're going to get a break in here. When we come back to Baumhauer's, it's time for our Tuesday Top 10. We'll get that in here. Alabama going to Wisconsin. You know, they're going on the road to play Power 4 opponents in each of the next 10 years after this year. And, that's a welcome thing. 3 of those are actually north of the Mason-Dixon line. We'll run down those 10 games for you. And then also some notes from the NFL from over the weekend as well. And your phone calls. So go ahead and jump on board. 256-576-4977. It's the Thom Abraham Show live from Baumhauer's. Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash and the freezers free and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
Electric cars are coming faster than you think, and that's why we're bringing SEMA Connect to Alabama.
Our team educates you and helps provide a long-term plan for your business. Where to put them, how to get them there, how to pay for them, tax incentives, service, and monitoring. We take care of everything.
Doing the right thing means bringing EV car chargers to Alabama. Let us help you with your EV charging plan.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
It's time to get ready for game day. That means Alabama football and tailgate. Whether you're tailgating at home or at Bryant-Denny, visit Brooks & Collier for North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers like Big Green Egg, Blaze, Delta Heat, Memphis, and Traeger. Satisfy any palate with our wall of rubs and seasonings. For all your tailgating needs, visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for over 75 years. Roll Tide.
floating on a sapphire breeze, somewhere between heaven and the tall pine trees.
And welcome back, Thom Abraham Show.
Man, I'm missing you.
We are live at Baumhauer's. This segment of the show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. With average home equity at an all-time high, this is the time for you to use that equity in your home to get rid of other high consumer debt, things like credit cards. Probably one of the worst ones. So check it out. And look, I know the rate's a little bit high now. You're like, why would I refi now? Well, because you get that high debt or that high equity out of your property. You pay off the high debt, and then you refi back when the rates come back down. You can go ahead and refinance. It'd be that easy for you to do with North Alabama Mortgage. Also, if you're thinking about a home improvement or if you're thinking about buying, I mean, right now, the home prices are moderated, but as soon as those rates start coming down, which they will, as soon as those prices start coming down, then boom, the price of the houses are going to go up. So buy now, refi later. That's what you do with North Alabama Mortgage. Go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more about how you can do that. Jumping Joe Hunk in the studio. I am at Baumhauer's. Joe, question tonight. Some good baseball. We're in the football hole right now, right? We're in that little football hole. We get the 2-day football hole at Tuesday and Wednesday. And then, of course, we got a great Monday night game with the Bills and the Dolphins on Thursday. And then we got all the high school stuff on Friday, Saturday and Sunday and Monday. So this is our hole, right, for baseball, Tuesday and Wednesday. But there's that little thing going on in Philadelphia. So I got to ask you, will you be watching baseball tonight? Will you be watching the debate tonight, which could be historical? Or will you be watching, DuckTales or something like that with your kids?
Woo! Don't say DuckTales. I can sing the whole song. No, I'll be 100% on baseball. No, I'm not paying attention to what's going on in Philadelphia. They're all idiots. But so the whole concept for me is like, look, during the weekends, I'm all football. Like that's all I can focus on. Like, between the games we do and everything else, that's all I could focus on. So this is my point in time to do baseball. So I'm going to be paying attention to Yankees and Royals. And I'm not saying that just because you're a Yankees fan. I've just been enjoying watching the Yankees all season. And the Royals are a team that nobody pays attention to because they're Kansas City, but they're one of the better teams in the AL right now, fighting for a position in the playoffs. So that's going to be my series. And then I'm going to be paying attention to Royals and Red Sox.
Yeah, not Royals and Red Sox.
Orioles and Red Sox. Yeah, Orioles.
I thought you were a big Braves fan.
I am. See, here's the thing is not only does DirecTV suck, but so does Bally. And so for me,
I haven't been able to watch the Braves all year long.
No,
all I've been able to see is like the games that are on, ESPN, the occasional game on TNT. I haven't been able, or TBS. I haven't been able to watch. I bet I haven't seen 3 Braves games.
Yeah, and so I have an illegal app that I have on my phone that I always just have a Braves game up so I can watch it, but I can't put it up on a TV. I can't do anything like that. I can watch it on my phone, and that's about it. So I'll have I'll have my phone on the Braves, but as far as the television is concerned, it's going to be Yankees, Royals, and Orioles, Red Sox.
Yeah, I've got the MLB. I got the MLB app, which does not allow me. And that's the other thing that ticks me off. And that's the one bad thing about YouTube is that you can't get the Braves. I can't get the Predators. So I got to get even on the. And here's the thing: what I don't understand is I pay for the NHL Center Ice package because I love my Bruins, and I'm going to watch the Bruins, but I want to watch the Preds too. So I got the MLB Center Ice package that I pay for, $169 a year. I pay $169 a year for the baseball, for the MLB app. If I'm paying, I should be able to watch the Braves game.
No,
paying. Well, look, I can't watch the Braves game.
And that's the whole thing about the local television market. If you're going to black it out, make sure that it is on a local market, not the Bally Sports or anything like with the NBA, or I should say with the NFL. When they black out your local market, your teams are still on CBS or Fox.
Yeah.
Not everybody has TNT. Again, there are apps, or as far as wire cutting services that don't have that. If you've cut the cord, you can't watch TNT or TBS for certain ones, so that shouldn't count. But if it's on ABC or Fox or NBC or any of those, then you can black it out. But if it's on Bally, which majority of the country can't even get right now because of how stupid the whole pricing situation is, then yes, I should be allowed to be able to watch that if I'm paying for MLB Extra Innings, which I do, or if you're getting the Sunday ticket or something like that, you should be able to watch your thing, because now those televisions, like YouTube TV, it has the ability to track what you're watching. So it's not taking away from it. It's going to count it.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. And so I thought, well, I'll get the Bailey app, and at least I'll get the Predators and the Braves.
Nope.
Well, no, because if I get the Bailey app, the Preds are on one. It's one south and the other southeast or whatever, and the Braves are on the other one. And they want $14 a month for the Bailey app. That's more than I paid for the MLB for the whole rest of Major League Baseball. I got to pay $14 a month to watch the Braves. I'm not going to do that.
Well, and you wonder why they're gone bankrupt and why they're having to sell and all the other dumb things that are coming along with it. So what I do is I have an app and it feeds me games illegally, and I just sit there and watch it. I just open it up on a Google Chrome, and I just watch it right there on my phone. That's the only way I can watch the Braves.
The Royals are going to be in. The Orioles and the Yankees are going to be in. One will win the division. One will be the number one wild card. The Royals right now with a 5.5 game lead over, the first team out of the playoffs in the American League. The Twins have a 3-game gap, but lurking 3 games back. Who thought we would even have said this? 3 games back. The Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers are just 3 games out of the playoff here. 144 games into the season, so they got less than 20 games left to go. But they're only 3 back, as is the Boston Red Sox and the Seattle Mariners. And in the National League now, it's come down to it's going to be the Padres, the Diamondbacks, and then either the Mets or the Braves. The Cubs are 5 back of the last spot. They're not going to make that up. But the Braves and the Mets, the 2 best, races going on in baseball. Braves and Mets for the last playoff spot. And by the way, the Diamondbacks are only a game ahead of the Mets. So the Diamondbacks could fall out of there, and the Braves and the Mets could both make it.
Mm-hmm.
That race, and then, of course, the AL East, as you mentioned, the Yankees and the Orioles swapping it back and forth, 1.5 games right now for the Yanks. So, those are the 2 good races that we're watching right now in baseball. All right, Joe, I mentioned that the Crimson Tide have 10 road Power 4 games coming up in the next 10 years. Give me a little of that.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's the Tuesday Top 10.
That's Shane and the Moneymakers out of Nashville. They made that for me when I was up there, and I didn't even ask for it. They just went ahead and made it. And you know who arranged that was the Phillip. The Phillip, who now lives in Virginia, used to live in Nashville. He was in the music scene in Nashville, and he got his buddy Shane and the Moneymakers, and he got those guys and said, hey, make a top 10 sounder for the Big Dog, and they did, and we've used it ever since then. So anyway, take a listen to these games. These are the games that now the Tide will play at Wisconsin, obviously, this week, but they've got 10 more of these and this is really, these are not neutral site, go to Dallas and play in Jerry's World or go to Atlanta. These are games, legit on the road games. So next year at Florida State, then at West Virginia. You wonder when they did the West Virginia thing, whether they thinking Saban would still be there, because that's his home, that's his home state, that's his home territory, West Virginia. So they're at West Virginia in 2026. 2027, Joe, at Ohio State. So there's actually 4 that they go above the Mason-Dixon line for. At Alabama at Ohio State in the Horseshoe. How cool is that? I mean, that's one of the things that's good about this new system with this 12-team playoff, that you can risk a game like that and go play at Ohio State.
Aren't you glad that we're away from all the neutral site games? I mean, I know we have some every once in a while. You'll have a couple that first weekend, but I'm so glad we're away from neutral site games, that we're playing these things on the stadiums and on the campuses and everything, because normally you would have had Alabama Ohio State happening in Dallas, or you would have had Alabama Ohio State happening in LA or something like that. Now we actually get to see Alabama in the Horseshoe. Like, that's how it should be.
You're still going to get, I mean, in their home and homes too, because that means that Ohio State will be coming to Tuscaloosa as well, which is really cool. I love the games on campus. There's no doubt. But you're still getting one in Atlanta. You're always going to have
Vegas has had their one.
Now Vegas took it from, there used to be one in Dallas. Now Vegas has got it. And then you always get one in Charlotte for whatever reason. So you get one there, and that was the Tennessee North Carolina State game. But these are all on campus. So 2028, Alabama goes to Oklahoma State. 20, and again, every one of these games has a return game. So all of these teams that I'm mentioning will also be in Tuscaloosa. 2029, they're at Notre Dame. There's another one north of the Mason-Dixon line. How much attention do you think that game is going to get on NBC? 2030, they're at Georgia Tech. That's an easy ride. Go over there and check that out. 2031, they're at Boston College. I mean, just think about that for a minute.
It's pretty sweet.
Alabama playing in Boston.
That'd be pretty sweet.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that would be sweet. That's one of those that you go, you know what? I want to take a trip. I had so many friends that went to Chicago this past weekend because the Titans were playing there. It's the same way with Alabama friends. Like you'll make a trip to go to Boston because you want to see that.
2032, they're at Minnesota. All right, early in the year, hopefully. So, Alabama's going to have to start buying parkas and stuff if they're going to go play these people.
No, let's do that one in November before the Iron Bowl. Let's have that. Yeah. That's what you really want.
2033, the opposite of Minnesota, they're at Arizona. That's random. That was random. Oh, some of these are random, but
who in heaven's name wants to go to Arizona? I understand if you went to Arizona State. I mean, at least that's in Phoenix. But who wants to go to Arizona?
Arizona. And then in 2034, they play at Va-Tech. So those are the next 10 years of Alabama road games that are against P4. And again, I remind you that every one of these has a return trip. That means Florida State, West Virginia, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Oklahoma State, Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, Boston College, Minnesota, Arizona, and Va-Tech will all be in Tuscaloosa at some time over the next 10 years, which is cool too. So you can go to Tuscaloosa and see, that instead of having to go there and watch Western Kentucky and School of the Blind play, you can go there and see. Nothing against the School for the Blind. I'm just saying.
They probably could beat Auburn too.
Easy now. Easy. The gallows humor there now. A little gallows humor. Is Peyton Thorne still on the team?
He shouldn't be.
Is he on a Bachelor this week or what?
I would love to put him on everything. I mean, can we put him on Big Brother? Can we put him on The Bachelor, Survivor? Can we put him anywhere? Just somewhere other than Jordan-Hare Stadium. Let's just do that.
What's the point anymore? When you think about it, what is the point anymore? You might as well see what you got with Hank Brown. You're recruiting new guys anyway. You got a redshirt freshman in Hank Brown out of Lipscomb Academy in Nashville. It was under the tutelage of Trent Dilfer. He was recruited by Hugh Freeze to Liberty, and then when Hugh Freeze came to Auburn, he flipped from Liberty to Auburn. Looked good enough to, he beat out the Gerner kid, Harold Gerner kid, who everybody thought that he was going to be the next great quarterback at Auburn, and Hank Brown beat him out. I mean, you might as well take a look. I mean, it can't get any worse than getting beat the way you got
between
beat.
him and Walker White. I mean, Walker White was one of the top 5 quarterbacks in this year's recruiting class. Like he's the one. Look, the very moment I started playing my dynasty with Auburn, I benched Peyton Thorne and I put Walker White in. I said, screw it, let's go with the freshman and let's build him up because Walker White, I would take 15 Walker Whites over 75 Peyton Thorns, mainly because none of those Peyton Thorns could make a pass.
But we don't know yet. And why did he leave? Why did he leave LSU? And of course, looking at the writing on the wall there, and with Garrett Nussmeier, looming. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, some NFL stuff to get to, plus your phone calls. So go ahead and jump on board if you want to get in to the show. This is a great time to do it. We are at Baumhauer's. You can call 256-5764. 97.7 and get in. What did we think of Tom Brady's debut on Fox? And I'm going to give you some numbers that you would be shocked at that maybe you don't know about. We'll be back with that right after this from Baumhauer's. It's the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
A block and a dive for the goal line, and he's up on the goal line and in. Touchdown!
San Francisco. The Call on Niners radio last night's 32-19 win over the Jets. Jake Moody 6 for 6 on field goal attempts. His longest was 53 yards. San Francisco scored on 8 consecutive drives in the season-opening win. Fill-in running back Jordan Mason ran for 147 yards and a touchdown in place of the injured Christian McCaffrey. The Niners were favored by 3.5. The over was 51. The Niners remain second among bettors to win the Super Bowl at plus 550 behind the plus 450 Chiefs. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Welcome to week 3 of our high school streaming network. Over the airwaves will be the Cotton Classic. It is Buckhorn and Hazel Green. Zone 3 features Randolph at Westminster Christian. Incidentally, that's Zone 3 and Zone 5. Zone 4 features the Sparkman Senators taking on the Albertville Aggies. Zone 6 is our game of the week, featuring the Grissom Tigers taking on the Bob Jones Patriots. Talk Radio 2 features the Huntsville Crimson Panthers at James Clements.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Hi folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon really is going to be a beautiful day. Temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s, dropping into the mid 60s as we head into the overnight. More cloud cover for your Wednesday, but it does look like we are going to be dry. The cloud cover going to keep us a little cooler. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're dropping into the upper 60s, low 70s as we head into the overnight early into your Thursday morning. Thursday is going to bring a lot of rain and maybe some stronger thunderstorms to the Tennessee Valley. With that in mind, we are going to be much cooler on Thursday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm ready.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show live from Baumhauer's is brought to you by the Great Americans at Rocket City Federal Solutions. They are committed to streamlining engineering solutions for all aspects of installations and facilities construction and management worldwide with expertise and precision. These Great Americans at Rocket City Federal Solution are headed by their CEO, Jason Largent, and they have a combined 35 years plus of experience. They have a global network of projects and critical systems, facility engineering, environmental, operational maintenance and more. He could tell me more, but he'd have to kill me. So, you need to go to RocketCityFederalSolutions.com to learn more. Go to RocketCityFederalSolutions.com and to learn more what they are doing, and they're doing it from right here in the Rocket City, hence their name. So how about that? Worldwide production and protection from the folks from right here in the Rocket City. All right, phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. We'll get you into the show. And, Joe, most of the country got to see the Browns and the Cowboys. In fact, we got a huge rating, over 26 million watching that game. That's more than watches the Sunday night game, got 23 million. Monday Night Football gets about 17 or 18 million. The 26 million was a high, an all-time high for a game, in a regular Sunday afternoon window for Fox. And a lot of that had to do with the excitement about Tom Brady becoming a color commentator. And I thought he was pedestrian at best, and he's gotten a lot of criticism. And they didn't do this guy any favors. I mean, Tom Brady needed to do a year or two, like the others have all done, needed to do a year or two working on other games that are not quite in the spotlight. This dude's going to do the Super Bowl this year with Kevin Burkhardt. That was not Super Bowl quality analysis, and I just thought he was really, really pedestrian at best.
Well, and help me out with this, because I don't know, what time did this game actually kick off? Because I didn't get to watch this one.
It's a 3:25.
So it's a 3:25. So what I did is,
game.
the moment that the Titans game ended on Sunday, I immediately swapped it over to Red Zone. And I just had it on Red Zone for the entire time on it. So I've heard people talk about it, and I know you just mentioned it, but what was it that was so pedestrian and not like at the caliber?
He didn't bring anything. He didn't bring anything to the table. He seemed like he was stuttering and stammering. A lot of times it would be, these big gaps where Burkhardt would lay out for him, and that you would expect the analysis, and there was no analysis. He didn't tell us why Deshaun Watson was sucking. He didn't really say. All he kept saying over and over again was, "You can't go backwards. You can't go backwards." Yes, we know that you can't go backwards, Thom. It was like it became a drinking game. You can't go backwards to go forwards, and he was talking about all the penalties, on Cleveland in that game. And there was no entertainment value. He was not excited. They lined up to kick. The kid kicked a 66-yard field goal. The kid that came out of the UFL. He was a kicker for the Birmingham Stallions, this Aubrey kid that last year was the best kicker in the NFL. And he lined up and kicked a 66-yard field goal for the Cowboys that ended up blowing it dead. I forget what it was and what the reason was that they had to blow it dead, but they blew the play dead, but he made it from 66. Oh, I know what it was. It was the offensive line jumped. So they backed it up, and he was going to attempt a 71-yarder. And he was lining up to attempt the 71-yard field goal, which would have eclipsed the all-time record by 5 yards. And Kevin Burkhardt's losing his mind, and Brady very dryly just says, well, Cleveland's got a guy back, so, they'll have to cover this. I mean, it was like, you're going to be kidding me. The guy's kicking a 71-yard field goal. Now, Dallas ends up calling a timeout and sending out the punt team. So they ended up not doing it. But I don't know. There was just no juice. And I switched over a couple of times to Red Zone during commercial breaks, and they had the Tampa Bay game on, and Greg Olsen was on that game. Greg Olsen is the guy that was replaced by Tom Brady on the number one Fox team, and it was amazing how much better Greg Olsen is. I mean, he is light years ahead of Brady. Now, could Brady get better? Maybe, but they threw him at us right off the top here, and they're not doing the guy any favors doing that.
No, absolutely they're not, because this is going to always be your most watched game. And so you're going to have the entire nation paying attention to it. That's the reason why the entire nation has an opinion on Tony Romo, is because he is always on the biggest game, the number one game, and you are going to hear what he is doing and thinking and everything else. Whereas, the Greg Olsen game, that's now regionalized. So there's a much smaller fan base. I've always enjoyed Matt Leinart. I've thought that he's done very well.
Leinart does good
in his thing as well. So I was actually surprised there, because now Leinart, I think, is the 3 guy for Fox, but now adding Brady into this, I kind of wonder, because behind the scenes, this is kind of how it works, is you do a lot of test games where you're getting in and you're going through the entire
I'm sure
thing.
they did that. But by exposing him to huge audience right off the bat. And he's going to do the Super Bowl. And get this, $37 million a year, $37.5 a year. The next highest paid analyst is Troy Aikman, who I like a lot, to be honest with you. Troy Aikman's at $18 million a year. They're paying Brady $37.5 million a year. Last year, Greg Olson on the number one team for Fox made $10 million a year. All right. And this year, because they bumped him down to the number 2 game, they cut his pay to $3 million. I mean, so not only does he take the hit where he goes from the number 1 team to the number 2 team, but on the number 2 game, he's making $3 million a year, while Tom Brady's making $37 million a year, and Olsen is infinitely better than Brady right now.
Got a 70% pay cut. I know it's $3 million, and a lot of people's like, well, I'd take $3 million. But just think about going in and doing your job, doing it amazingly, and then saying, hey, I want you to do the exact same thing in front of, with less people, and I want you to take 70% less. Are you cool with that? Are you? Yeah. Ooh. You're telling, and he stuck around. Now that's loyalty, because he could have went to a lot of places and got paid a lot more.
Well, and I think somebody's going to come after him at some particular point in time, and he'll get an opportunity to get back to a higher paying gig. But we'll see. I mean, Tony Romo's locked in on CBS, and Romo I thought was better in his first game, the Charger Raider game, than he was last year. I thought last year he started mailing it in. And somebody said to Tony Romo, hey, get back to doing the prep that you were doing before. But you know how Romo will predict plays based on the formation?
Yeah, absolutely.
None of that from Brady. None of that. Brady, not one time did Brady say, oh, they're giving him a cover 2 look right now. The post should be there. Never said anything like that. He never said, they're rolling up on the field side and showing blitz from the outside. You got to go hot. Never got any insight like that from Brady. I mean, it was very, very pedestrian at best. And Scott Hansen on the Sunday or on
the red zone.
Scott Hansen on red zone made cracked a comment about when they were lining up to kick the 71-yarder, and then when they called timeout, they cut away from it. And Hansen made a comment like, "Come on, Tom Brady, you got to be more excited about that. The guy's trying a 71-yard field goal." Hansen got criticized and had to apologize publicly. He goes, "Oh, I was just, I'm just good-natured joking around." I love red zone. I sit there and I watch red zone, and it's like hanging out with the guys, and Scott Hansen sitting on the couch with you, calling, doing what we do, going game to game and just saying, "Oh my God, did you see that?" I mean, I thought Hansen did a great job. I don't know who whispered to him and told me he had to apologize for saying what he said, but that was BS, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's the reason why I do go to the red zone, is because unless it's a team I have an emotional connection to, I just want to see what my fantasy team's doing, and I want to pay attention to that. Majority of the time, anyway, the second games are not as exciting a lot of times as all those games that are happening at 12 o'clock. So I always put it on NFL Red Zone. I just walk around the house with it on.
Yeah, I just put I put the remote down, and that's it. You're done. It's great stuff. The only problem with Red Zone is it's hard to go to the bathroom because you don't get a commercial.
No,
I mean? It's like, give me a commercial. I got to go to the bathroom, man.
Because it's what is it, 8 commercial hour or 6.5 hours of commercial free football?
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah,
it's like, man, I gotta go to the bathroom. All right, we're gonna break it in. When we come back, the thing from the NFL this first weekend of the season that makes me throw up a little bit in my mouth the most. We'll explain next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show, live from Baumhauer's.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? It might be in a call center somewhere, maybe 100 miles away, but my phone rings in my office.
The Lackey Law Firm.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're here. We're the ones who take your call.
And get what you deserve.
You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And this is the most important part. We'll treat you like family because that's exactly what we are.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Situated downtown on Clinton Avenue, you'll find the Church Street family's take on delicious seafood and more. Sea Salt. At Sea Salt, the food speaks for itself. Fresh oysters, shrimp and lobster, and non-seafood fare. Plus a large selection of wines, regional and local beers on tap, and a full bar. Catch the downtown vibe with Sea Salt's unique outdoor city street and patio seating with a view of Jesse Andrews' mural, bringing an underwater world to life. No reservations necessary. Sea Salt, 114 Clinton Avenue.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling sluggish? Gentlemen, Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health is here to help you. Braden is here. Braden, you've got the answers.
Thanks, Scott. Whether it's low T, erectile dysfunction, weight loss, or a number of other things, we have the solution for them.
It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call today at
256-850-1570.
You can find them online.
GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, what man wouldn't like to have tests done in a man cave?
That's right. Come in for your free test and consultation, walk into a world-class staff, a comfortable, relaxed environment, and we got your results in about 20 minutes with appointments less than an hour.
And the big game is always on the TV. It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call.
256-850-1570.
You can find them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Huntsville/The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Recap Show, presented by Lawler's Barbecue.
The tackle. Williams, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 2 electric early
on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Two-minute warning is brought to you by Minuteman Press. For all your promotional needs and printing needs, it's Minuteman Press. We use them at the station. I use them for things as well personally because they're that good. Minuteman Press, Jonathan Dunwoody and his team. They do a tremendous job down there. I suggest you use them. All right. Joe, there's something that made me throw up a little bit in my mouth. As I watched Deshaun
Tom Brady's
Watson,
performance?
No, well, no, that was no, not so much because I'm at least he's trying. You know who's not trying is Deshaun Watson. I mean, he's not. He's just mailing it in. I mean, the guy he's a head hanger. He doesn't look like he's even making an attempt. Like he doesn't even care. And that's the worst thing you can have is a guy that it looks like he doesn't care. He got paid $230 million guaranteed. He's getting that money no matter what, unless the Browns management did not know about this latest accusation. He right now is being sued again from another person, not part of the other 23 cases, 22 of which he settled. He's being sued again. If the Browns did not know about that, they can get out of the contract. And that's what nobody is talking about when they talk about this. Nobody is saying that, look, if Deshaun Watson didn't notify the Browns that there's another potential case, they but I'm to this point where I'm fed up with the guy to no end. And then I have to add this into it. Baker Mayfield, 4 touchdown passes, no interceptions, had a 146.4 rating in the Bucs win over Washington. And Mayfield has 4 career games with at least 4 touchdowns and a passer rating of 140 or more. And he ties Aaron Rodgers for the 3rd most such games by a player in his first 7 seasons. And only Peyton Manning and Kurt Warner have done it more than Aaron Rodgers and Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, why is he not my quarterback? So frustrated. All right, that's going to do it. Good job by Joe mixing the show. I'm Thom Abraham. Coming up next, Paul Feinbaum. Have a great day, everybody.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Perhaps some clarity today on the Steelers quarterback situation from Coach Mike Tomlin after the season opening win in Atlanta.